work, and yes, it's physical, and yes, all those bad things, right? But there's a lot of good things about it too. The number one thing it is I'm in control of my destiny. I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of how I spend my time. And that, my young Jedis, is the most important thing ever. Okay, y'all, good morning. Wednesday morning, man. So today's a hump day, y'all know that. And I know that everybody is starting to feel the grind if you're out here, especially, well, I am. But I'm glad it's hump day. Today is the bulk of, well, today's the most yards we're gonna do in a day this week. And I know that a lot of people get hung up on how many yards you're doing and all that, and I guess it matters to a certain degree, but I tend to get more hung up on how much money I'm making on each property. So I had rather do, you know, I don't know, $600 properties than 12 or $50 properties. So you can't really, you know, just determine how things are going and how productive you are when you just count the actual yards. You have to count the money that you're making and the location and the density and all that. So that's what really is the most important to me. So, well, I've had guys come at me in the comments before, man, you're only doing 6 properties a day. Yeah, but if there's 6 $200 properties, okay. I mean, ain't that what you want? So, but I got a lot of rides to do today. Kind of switching it up just a little bit on exactly the way we're doing them, the order, because I made notes along the last rotation on this route that, okay, we can do this better. And I'm constantly, continuously, all the time trying to figure out, or thinking, not really trying to figure it out, I'm just trying to think of a better way to do things, or a better way to do this route. Can we drop this property on this route and do a more lucrative property and make it where it makes sense and all that, you know? I'm constantly in that state of trying to make things more efficient. So, and that, you know, that, well, it pays dividends in the long run. But I got quite a ride today. I gotta go all the way down here to Riverdale. I gotta do 3. Toby's gonna do 3, and then we're gonna meet on the 7th one, and then we got the 7th one, and then we got the 2 great big ones. Well, I say big, they're, you know, 3 acres each, 2 acres each, 2.5, 3 acres, something like that. We got them 2 to do. Yeah, so, and they pay good. Now, normally I would like to go do those first, but what ends up happening is you get over there and everything's real wet because everybody uses sprinklers over there. It's like the HOA, I don't know, but there's constant wet over there in the morning time. So I like to get over there in the afternoon when it's a little bit drier. I can move through the properties a little bit fast, especially that one with a big field in the back. There's one that's got a football field and a half in the back. Y'all been over there before. So I'll be doing that property. We'll be doing the one with the pool and all in the back. Yeah, I hadn't even added up how much money we're gonna get today. I figured if it was on the schedule for last week or 2 weeks ago, that I need to make sure I at minimum stay on that same schedule, if that makes sense, where when I look at my calendar. Without software, I'd be in trouble. I'd be in trouble. So I can't really see the lay of the land, if you will. You know, I don't know, the density, where I need to be, and all that. The software doesn't tell me anything I don't put in the software. The software just keeps everything organized on a calendar where I can move it around and all that. So basically, I got a view of a calendar, and you know, just like a Google calendar, if you will, and I can manipulate the schedule accordingly. Like yesterday, you know, the whole video I kept speaking when we did 5 yards, and then, you know, that tree job. Well, after the tree job, Toby stopped by and did 1 on the way in for another 60. So, and we were still done. So we actually did 6 properties and then the $700 tree job. So that was a pretty good day for 2 people, for me not having to travel, you know, no more than, you know, 2 miles from my house to go to the job. Now I did have to travel to the dump, which is about a 10-mile drive one way, but they paid me for that. So, you know, yeah, it's always trying to be a little more efficient. So when we saw how good a time we were making on the tree, that's when I knew that, well, we can incorporate, hell, we could do 2 more yards if we really wanted to. I started looking at the calendar for this afternoon, and it wasn't going to make sense. So I know Toby's not going to be out here, but I'm still running things the same way. I want to make sure that you know, well, I want to make sure that Toby's getting as much money as he can in the time that we're out here. I mean, at the end of the day, I got a couple of key things that are kind of the core of everything. Number 1 is efficiency. That's the number 1 thing out here to make top dollar. And everything else kind of falls into that, really that line, if you think about it, because efficiency covers, you know, route density, you know, the type of properties that you're doing, how big they are, and all that. The location of the properties is as important as how much they're paying, believe it or not. So I got a few things that you know, unspoken rules that I kind of follow when I'm out here. Another one of the rules that I follow when I'm out here that I've, you know, I don't know what everybody else does. It doesn't really matter. That is critical is I want the machines to do the work. If a machine can do the work, that's what we want to do. And that's why I like the lawnmowers and weed eating first and all that, because I like to use the lawnmowers to do more than just cut grass. The lawnmowers, it's a given they'll cut grass. They better. They're, you know, $16,000, $17,000, $18,000. They better cut grass like nobody's business. But another thing too is they can do other stuff, help me clean up and all that. And when I see guys that work with me that don't think like that, then I'm gonna get them to thinking like that, because the time and efficiency goes right back to that, you know. Because if they're wasting their time walking and doing things that on the job that are, well, not efficient, then well, we're gonna have to get them efficient. And it's hard for a guy to come out here and tell me a lot about the properties that I do, no matter what. It doesn't even matter if they got more experience than me or less experience than me or whatever. I'm going to do the properties the same way I've been doing them for 10, 15 years. Because like I tell y'all all the time, most of the properties I do, I have been doing, well, probably 80% of them, well, I would say 50% of them for 10 years or longer. And then the rest of them, you know, 10 years or less. A very small, I don't pick up very many properties every year, maybe 3 or 4 or 5. But the trick is I don't lose customers either. So I've been able to manage and maintain that concept the whole time without marketing and everything. And you know, y'all know I haven't been to this property that I'm going to now. I haven't been out here since, well, since the time I showed Toby how to do it, you know. And I tell you another thing too, that, you know, when your mindset is like mine is, and like a lot of other guys that are in my spot out here, not that we're special or nothing, but your mindset is always preparation for the next day, for the next week, for the next month. And even, I mean, really, even just being an entrepreneur in any field, you got to prepare for things and study things as if you're gonna be taking a test, if you will, and to make things a lot better and a lot faster and a lot more efficient, so you can make more money. You got to do things in a way, and you always got to be thinking about tomorrow. You know, it's a given that we're going to cut the grass today on all these properties, right? It's a given. That's a no-brainer. Okay, now so I know that. So since I know that, now let's make sure. I want to spray all these properties too, because I know that he's not going to be back out here. So some of the ones that he's been doing, we haven't been spraying, and it's really just because of the logistics of I only got one spray, and I don't really like the guys that work for me using the sprayer, and I could go into a whole other, well, maybe I will. I've lost customers because of my help using the sprayer. Lost them, where they quit and they were mad. You know, over the course of 17 years I've been out here. Where, you know, the guy sprayed and he just wasn't thinking. So I don't let guys spray, but it would be smart and, you know, McDaddying if I could spray all these properties, so the next time I come, what am I going to be dreading? All the weed eating and stuff. Now you can't spray every property, but I can spray a lot of them, and in critical spots to where when I come back in 2 weeks without Toby, I won't have to worry about that whole area right there. And then that gives me more options. Then I can you know, take the time to continue spraying and not take me as long to weed eat everything. I mean, I'm you know, at first when Toby told me that he was you know, putting in his notice, I was shocked, and I was like, well, okay, but I was reeling in my head because there's so many variables and so many things that I've gotten used to this year that is not going to be taking place anymore. Now, good or bad, that's what it is, and at the end of the day, you got to keep going forward. So in order to do that, now that I've had, you know, damn near a week to process that, and I'm constantly looking at the calendar, constantly trying to get better and better and better every day, trying to get better. I'm constantly trying to get better today than I was yesterday. That may sound corny, but that's the reality of it, and that's the truth. I am. And a part of getting better is dealing with all the moving parts of running the business and everything, and trying to stay where you got money coming in every single day. Gotta have money coming in every day. But y'all know me, I want it all. I want skid steer money, I want tree trim money, I want haul off money, and I want lawn care money. I want all the money, all of it. That's what I want. And can I get it all? I don't know, but I'm damn sure gonna try. I got the equipment to get it all, so now it's just about having a guy to help me get it all. I'm not gonna be a one-trick pony, you know, and nothing wrong with that, because, well, I don't personally really care anything about doing, you know, a lot of residential lawns, and you know, and that's all I do. I'm not really, you know, well, I'm geared for it. I can do it all, but that's not by accident. I can do it all because I've seen bits and pieces over the time I've been out here on where people are really making the money. And though they're making the money in the lawn care, especially if you're efficient and you can really sees your area and, you know, smart with your money and all that. So that's a wrap on the day, man. It's 1:30. We're done. $900. You know, it's okay for what we got in it. It's always pretty good for what we got in it. It's hot though, man. All right, guys, that's a wrap on the day. Deuces! Y'all be safe out here, man. It's hot. Deuces.